There we go. Yes. Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Yes. So again, thanks. Welcome. Oh, this was really quiet. Welcome Magnus, welcome Brendan, and then we have Guide listening in. Today we are talking with Magnus from Against Bullying, coming from Stavanger, right?
Correct.
So Magnus, we don't know anything about you. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. We are three parents, small children parents that have put our heads together to found a company which helps children that are bullied on school and at home or at the internet or in any case. And for them, we're going to give a dream day. That's our goal. We're not going that high end on the schooling and the, what's it called?
Take it in Norwegian and then we will help you translate.
Pedagogik.
That's a tough one, but you can. Yeah. It is actually the same word in English, but it's not that commonly used.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna. We got a couple of cool cars, and we thought let's have some fun with these children, give them a little dream day. So we'll take them out for a drive, do some fun, go some places for like amusement parks and whatever, and yeah, just give them a day they don't think about bullying.
So I wonder, how did you come up with this idea? Like, did you have the car? Like, do you have you been like a boy who has car as a hobby or something? Or maybe you can talk a little bit about the cars, because that's like what your website is built on. You have this amazing cool cars.
Well, cars is a hobby. It had nothing to do with the cause until now. Cars has always been a hobby. We got a couple of cool cars and we've always been petrol heads. But actually, this whole thing wasn't my idea. It was my good friend Christopher, and he told me that hey, we have to do something for these kids. And a third friend of ours, also one of the co-founders, he actually replied on a case where a small kid was beaten up by a gang of other kids, and he said, I'm going to give you a good day. Come, I'll pick you up in my car and we'll do something fun. And for that, it just grew into an idea, and we put our heads together, and here we are today.
I've seen a picture of the cars and they look pretty nice, pretty fancy. We got to get Cathrine, we have to get a picture of the cars on the post on Facebook. But just for any car enthusiasts, Magnus, I guess you can give us some pretty cool specs of what you actually have in the cars.
Well, today we got 3 cars which we use. We got several project cars, but for today we got a Transformers Bumblebee, which is the children's favorite, of course. They can relate it because of the movies. I got a BMW i8, which is a entry supercar. It's a wing door car, which is not common to see on the streets. And we got a really old school but really popular Nissan Skylines from the Fast and Furious movies. And yeah, so the cars are what you don't see every day on the streets.
They get a lot of attention, and but like this is like a little bit of how you started, but how do you like reach the children? What do you do? How do people reach you or find you?
Well, it's not an easy question to answer, but they find us because of the Facebook site and everything, and they just contact us through the PMs and also of our personal Facebooks and write to us there. We are slowly building up a good website. It's not perfect yet, but it will be someday, where people can they can just leave their information, and we're gonna try to do their contacts step by step, as far as we can. Of course, this is starting to be a 10-man job, but yeah.
So Magnus, I'm 46 years old. What's the upper age limit that you take people that have been bullied?
45.
Oh no! So, but seriously though, you take teenagers too, or you just take kids, or?
We're trying to have a focus area, and the focus area is where the children are before 16 and lower. Of course, we can make exceptions. It's not a written rule. It's just that there's not many alternatives for the youngest children. The older children, they have uh, come that far in their life that the state and commune, they have to do something extra for them because of their age. But in the low ages, they get forgotten, and for that cause, it's also much easier to form if you can push them in the right direction.
So do you get into conversations about what's happening, or do you just totally just focus on having the dream day, or do the kids open up, or?
We absolutely try not to talk about anything bad this day. This day is one of those days you remember from your childhood, where you go to Disneyland. This is a day you focus 100% on the children's uh, dream and have a good day. We try to focus it as what their interests are. Not that easy always, but we if the children want to open up to us and talk, of course we can talk. We're parents, so we're used to it. But we try to make this a day without bullying.
So how do you like feel the children are taking it, or like experience it when you, if they're in a bad position or something, and you just give them this really great day? Because we have this exercise like make dreams day for kids who are in somehow needs it, but we find that many people need that advice to like listen to your children and do what they are interested in, and make a dream day for them. And what is the result that you see when they leave you?
It's very different between the children, of course. We have children that easily open up to us, and we have children that are a little bit more laid back, and we get let's call it reports back from the parents afterwards. Um, but like I said, there's no blueprints here. We take it and we wing it. So um, the children's reactions are by far perfect. Uh, they see the cars and get ecstatic, and they have no idea what's going on. They're just like a poster supercar is picking them up at school. Uh, just for that start, they have something to remember. But we're not stopping there. We're going to help in many, many different ways. Tomorrow, I'm going to pick up 11-year-old boy. And for his big surprise, he's a football boy. So uh, what are we going to do? Well, see you tomorrow. We have made arrangements for one of the biggest football teams, and they're all in. They're all in.
Cool. That's really nice.
It's Liverpool, right? Say it's Liverpool.
Local football team.
Okay, so the day that you get Liverpool, again, I'm going to be involved.
Give me a year.
But also, since we haven't been in contact for that long, I think maybe 2 weeks or something, Magnus, right?
Mm.
I don't remember, but since when I first Googled you seemed like like pretty small organization, company or firm, or what I can call it. But now I think in these 2 weeks, a lot of things have happened, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Several thousand% increase in everything, every aspect of the, what's it called? It's a welfare organization. It's not a company. We don't get paid. We don't need to get paid. This is only for welfare. Um, but um, this is just the start. I think within a year you can hear about us in the nationwide.
I think you're maybe you're not aiming high enough. I think maybe that it'll take a lot shorter than a year, because I think that anybody that does anything as cool as this, then I mean, like, it's a lot in the media. They have to write about good things as well.
Yeah.
And really great things that are happening. And there's a lot in the media. I mean, at the moment, we don't get a lot of coverage about bullying at school because of the pandemic. But once the pandemic goes away, this thing will come back up. Hey, we've got that thing called bullying at school again. Remember that? And it'll come back up again.
I'll tell you something that's really bad, actually, in this case of this COVID. Uh, the case with bullying is worse than ever, because now the only safe haven the children has after school is internet, and it has been an absolutely no focus on that at all, about isolated children that don't can go to their neighbors. They are fully 100% at home. And what I also read earlier today, which actually breaks my heart, is that a lot of parents don't can manage their children in the same way they did before, because the children has too much energy and they don't can get it out. They are locked in. Their energy level is up here, but they don't can use it. And when they use it at home, tempers flare between parents and children, and violence against children has actually risen by a stunning amount.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy. Another question I have for you: how many, like, roughly, of these do you do? Like, how often are these days?
Well, as I said, we just started. We are only 2 months in, but in these 2 months, several, and we have just today released two of the cars from their haven from the winter. So there are several, and I think there's 20 or 30 waiting on, but we do not have today any goal against how many, but I think within the year it will be in the hundreds.
Yeah, I don't think you should have a goal either, but it is always nice to know how many you've had, because here's the reason why. In 25 years, okay, you're going to meet some of these kids. Let's say the kids are 8 years old, right? And in 25 years, these kids are then 33 years old. And you're going to meet these kids somewhere like in town or at the shop or the shopping center, or you're going to meet them somewhere. But if you keep going at the rate you're going, you're going to have you're going to be like walking around, and people will be pointing, hey, see that guy over there? He gave me a dream day once. That guy over there, he gave me a dream day. He picked me up. You should have seen the car. He picked me up, and then we went and we did this. And it was one of those days that was really unforgettable. And you'll have like hundreds of people. And this is also like one of those movements that can inspire others to do the same, which is pretty cool.
Mm. I get what you say there, but I really hope it doesn't happen. I'll tell you why. I don't want to be remembered, if you know what I mean. This is not about
I know what
me.
you mean.
This
I
is
know
not
what you mean,
about
but
me, and it's not about us. But in any kind of way, if this makes a difference, even though it's just a good memory comes a long way.
But that's the reason why I think you'll actually be remembered, because you're not focusing on being remembered. So I think that people who do this, who try to be remembered, they're the ones that will be like, okay, whatever. But the people that have the 100% focus outwards to create a cool day, they're the ones that we actually remember.
But I think also now we have to because Magnus, you said this you started 2 months ago, right?
No.
Yeah, and how many people have reached out to you in these 2 months?
Hundreds.
Hundreds in like 2 months. So this is a serious problem, and you do this voluntarily, right? So the gas money and everything is coming from your own pocket, right?
Well, but before we started the company, we already did this voluntarily, and the gas money is not the problem. Let's say our vision, our goal is not just to go out and have fun. Let's say we meet a child uh, who comes from a low income family, and this is actually one of those kids we're going to have in the future. And I already planned it because they said that because of our low income, my 8-year-old has never ever had a shirt, a pair of pants, a pair of shoes that were new. Everything is from his older brother, which also leads to bullying at school because he comes with the same jacket for the whole summer, the whole winter. He comes with the same pair of shoes for months. Just to come with this child and give him a dream day and maybe just go to a shopping center and buy him some new clothes without even have to think, that is what we want to do. We want to help the children where they need it. So let's say he needs a new pair of shoes. We're going to buy him a new pair of shoes. Let's say this child wants to be one of the guys that plays Fortnite from home, but he doesn't have a PlayStation 4. We're going to buy him a PlayStation 4.
That's actually Guide, who's in here right now. You see the little photo of him in this Zoom call. He's actually training the best Rocket League players. I mean, we've started a Rocket League team on the side, and they're the best team in Norway. So they're leading the Telia League at the moment, and it looks like they're leading it pretty easy, just to say that. So that's something that we could also link up as well. Because I thought, like, not only that we can have the best Rocket League players, but what if we could just let like normal players play like for like 20 minutes or half an hour against Norwegian best team in Rocket League, or potentially like one of the best teams in Europe, as be like, wow, you know who I played against Rocket League yesterday? Like the best team I played against AV3 is like that. I mean, there's so many things that outside of this webinar that we're doing now, that both us and Cathrine will be able to link up and help you do more cool stuff. So it's going to be nice.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, we will keep in touch about that. So, but do you have any, like advice for people that you have catched up in these 2 months for people who are or children who are bullied?
Yeah, listen to your children. Sit down, just talk. I know it's a busy day. You have to go to work, pick them up at school, help them with homework, put them to bed, do your own clean, blah, blah, blah. There's so much to do. And I know how hectic it is. I have 3 children. I have 3 sons myself, 2 years, 6 years, and 11 years. But just sit down and talk to your child. If you don't do it, you're actually just letting him build up everything inside him. And one day it comes out the wrong way, or maybe it scars them because he can't get it out. So the best thing you can do, just talk to them. Sit down, talk to them. No TV, no telephone, no nothing. Just talk to
them. Some of the advice, whenever I have talks and there's kids in the audience, whatever, I ask, typically at schools, I ask kids to write down on a note the best pieces of advice that they would give adults, because a lot of adults know this type of advice without asking the user, right, which is the kid. And they usually give 2 pieces of advice, and the number one is exactly what you said. Most kids actually say listen. So if it's like, what do you want parents to do? Number 1 is listen, and number 2 is don't get angry. And that don't get angry is really nice, because I've asked kids, like, so what do you mean, like, don't get angry? Sometimes they say, well, we don't know how to do this yet. We're just kids. We don't know how to tell you that we're irritated, so we just get angry. Or we don't know how to argue, so we just get angry. We don't know how to say, I don't want to do that, so we just get angry. But do just listen to us and don't get angry back. You're supposed to be better than this. You're supposed to be like, you've had many years training and how not to get angry. But we're like 8 years old. We don't know. So I think that's really cool advice from kids.
And I think people don't do it. I think they're too busy, but we tell parents all the time, like I have this Hero Mind course now going on, and this week's task is like, just give the children 30 minutes of your time, do nothing, but just give them 30 minutes. And they're like, what, when? And the children, when I talked to them this week, they were like, am I going to have 30 minutes alone with my parents? And I think, and I don't know, it's too hectic, you say, but they are still children. So yeah.
Magnus, can I ask you a question? You or your friends, how many of you were bullied at school? Like the ones doing this project that you have?
Christopher is one of the co-founders. He was bullied at school. I myself was bullied. Every children are cruel. I cannot say I was bullied more than anybody else. I wasn't one of the super popular ones, so but children are cruel. So I don't think I had it worse than anybody else. But I definitely think that it can scar you, just the small things. I remember those small things. I remember them today like it was yesterday. And but I got a mindset, and my psychic ability is not psychic. Oh, that's wrong.
Superpower.
Yeah, min psyke is pretty strong. I don't get easily offended, but it's not for everybody.
We had Mona. We had one talk with Mona Espedal, and she also said that it's about like taking responsibility also for your feelings. That she didn't want the bullies or the one to win over her. Was her words? She was the one going. She had her moment, but she was the one who wanted the power.
So I'm coughing a little bit sometimes into the microphone. I've not got COVID or Corona or anything, but I just came in from outside where I was training like the last 45 minutes just before this, and then I just came in. So that's why. But my next question is one thing that I strongly believe in that I can't always say to, especially like at school, as I get quite a lot of reactions, is that I think that a lot of kids should be training by being teased. I think that a lot of kids should be role playing being teased to actually build up this strength that you said, that yeah, you had this mindset, you have this psyche, but like I do with my own kids, I've got 2 girls and we sit down and we practice. So we role play, and I take this role of this kid that's not going to be nice with them. So I tease them. I say, so what do you want me to tease you on? And we talk about it because now I'm Papa. And I say, so what do you want to tease? What should we tease? I mean, on your jacket, like a jacket, like I think the color is pretty bad. I can tease you on that if you want. Do you want to do that for 30 seconds? And they're like, okay, Papa, let's go. Okay. I say, okay, are you ready? 30 seconds. So we start the timer on the telephone and say, okay, go. And they say, oh, what an ugly jacket. Where the fuck did you get that jacket from? That's ugly as fuck. What's going on? But I don't touch them. That's like the only rule that we have. The only weapon that I can try to offend them with are my words. And then after 30 seconds, the alarm goes, and then we sit down and say, oh, what happened? Like, how did that make you feel? What was going on there? And they say, well, that was okay. That was pretty good. Give me another 30 seconds, but can you do it on my hair? Or can you do it on this? And you can do it on this. And we have like so much fun. And sometimes we actually reverse the rules as well. We actually say, okay, try it on me. Go do this or say this with me. And I think that a lot of kids need to be able to, it's like getting good at football, you know, it's like you need to go to training. You need to go to training to get the right muscles strong. And I think that not bullying, but I think teasing, that we have to give kids the right tools.
Yeah, and you have the controlled environment to do it in when you're teaching them or role playing at home, and then when you talk to them about how they feel and how do they respond to it, then they also get aware about how to react when they do it, when they meet troubles outside. So I have this free course now that you can book on my website, and these exercises, some of those are free and available. So if you go to Hero Minds, then you can book one course there for some free tips, actually. Now.
Comments, Magnus?
That was a new. That was a new approach. I haven't even thought about that. Don't know how to actually react on it. What's my first problem is that in my early days, every so-called psychologist, they didn't talk much, they didn't do much, they listened. But the more they're allowed to talk, the more they tell about how they really feel. So if you get a kid that's bullied or doesn't have it that well, when you get him to talk, you have won. That's therapy. To shoo them against being called names and so at school, yeah, I can definitely see that, so they know what they're going in for, because most of them will go through it. But how this will help them to respond, that's the big key here. How do you respond to somebody talking bad about your jacket? Because that actually brings out the truth in the cause. How will the children react, and what response will they do? Will it be physical? Will it be verbal? Or
I can tell you the last time it happened. I think we role played about 25 times, where we came into the same room and then we went out and back in and back out and back in and back out. And every time we came in, I was like, hey, you're ugly, or it was something like silly. It was like, oh, you're really ugly, like real up close to one of my daughters. And then she'd look me in the eyes and say, that's okay, you can say that. I was like, okay. And we did this like many times. And the next day she actually met this guy at school who would give this same comment to her. And she looked at him in the eyes and said, det går fint, det kan du godt mene. I was like, wow, what happened? And she said, he just looked funny at me and then he walked away. And I was like, well, high five. And that was sort of like, we didn't have to say anything. It was just like, yeah, high five. That's a nice one.
That's a good response. But you have to be pretty hard in your head to be able to say that, because most of them get offended because it's a different environment.
It's a totally Lego building process. I can really, at the bottom, it's like some of the kids that you have, I could never do that exercise with, right? Because it's like, we couldn't even get close to that. First, they have to be seen, then they have to be listened to, then you have to have a discussion with them, and then you have to, it's sort of like totally Lego building. And just to make it really clear, I'm totally against bullying, but actually teasing and just by words, simple words. And that I really believe in training.
And I also think it's important to separate that it's for preventing bullying or how to respond when you're not bullied maybe yet, or what to expect when you get older or something, that you like bring it into parenting, not to take a kid who is really bullied outside and bring him home and like really teaching it. It's not that what we mean, but like preventing them for the next step in life, like preparing them for, yeah, there are mean kids out there. You have to like, if we protect them on everything, they don't hear anything, then of course it will be hard to respond, and that they will be defended, and they maybe will be hurt by what other kids make as comments.
Because most of the children we are gonna meet is already way past, they know how it is to be bullied.
Yeah, so your job will be listening and giving them a really great day. So you will be the person that maybe actually listen to them, that makes a difference.
I'm the actually guy who's gonna say, how did that make you feel?
Yeah.
In the UK, they actually had a project of like this was pretty nationwide, where they tried to get bullying, like kids that bully in school, they tried to give them free martial arts training. Not the kids being bullied, but the actual bullies.
Really?
Yeah, with which, yeah, but with a pretty cool hypothesis that kids that bully have actually got a very low self-confidence, and there's some bad shit going on in their lives. Maybe their father's hitting them, or the parents aren't at home. These kids are like, they're not in a good place. That's why they're bullying. And this, sometime in the future, this could be like also an idea for you guys. Like, let's give the kids who actually bully, let's sit down with them and see how a grown-up bunch of guys can have fun, but not have any focus, not on any focus at all about them being a bully. Because usually when they go home, they get the message from school that they've been bullying someone today. Somebody maybe calls the parents in the evening, yeah, your son has been doing this, your son has been doing this. Then that kid maybe gets like hit around the head or something. You get sent up to the room, like, get up there, you have no dinner, you're not going to watch any TVs, and take your telephone away. And it's like, no, don't take my telephone away. And it's like, and this idea of giving also bullies like an amazing day, even though that, like, maybe some people watching us to think that'd be a totally crazy idea, but that could also be worth thinking about as well.
Yeah, I'm open for suggestions. I'm open for everything. The only thing that we have agreed on, that we, the founders, is that we're gonna leave the psychiatric evaluation and the schools and the communa and everything to do the hard labor of trying to help them with pedagogic. We're just gonna be the good guys. We're gonna be the step parent that does all the fun shit. And just, even though it doesn't seem like we're doing much important work, we're actually putting light to the situation by any means necessary. We're putting light to a situation that maybe makes other people react and do the, let's call it the heavy lifting, because the heavy lifting, a bullied child isn't fixed in a day. It isn't. It won't be fixed in a year. A really bad bullied child probably will go through whole school never being, let's call it, cured. But maybe when the school's over and you're going to the work life of adult life, you're not that bad equipped as you were without the help you got in school. The outcome could be far worse.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's also something that you started when you were talking today about, that the focus is on totally giving that one day, and giving like the spotlight on this kid. And it's a really nice way to think about it.
I also want to comment, like the last part you said about like being an adult who really cares about having a great day. Because I think there's a lot of grown-ups like thinking or seeing a lot of kids that's backing out and thinking that's none of my business, or it's not my problem. But I think that as adult we should be more interested in like talk to kids and see how they feel, not turn our backs to them. So I think that's a great role model for a lot of adults out there, to be like, be interested and care, and be the adult that really talks to other children, maybe on the way to school, or maybe say hi to the kids that the one kid in the class who doesn't go home with your kid all day, or the one you don't talk to. Like, be a caring person, do a little bit of effort, and then a lot of things, magic will happen.
Absolutely. In these also good times, publicity also makes ripple in the oceans. When we do something, other people will do something. And I actually used a lot of time in the last couple of weeks to talk with celebrities. So we're going to have a studio in Stavanger. We have talked with It's called Steinbru Photography. He will have the studio, he will have the video cameras and everything, and we have several really, really high-end actors, influencers and everything that are going to come and talk about their childhood. And when they talk about their childhood, they're also going to say that what we are doing is a good thing. And in that case, the ball will roll, the ripples in the ocean will get bigger. And yeah, give me 6 months, it's going to be a tidal wave.
But I think you already started something good. You told me about like there are a lot of other like up north who wants to join you already, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I'm not going to say any names.
No.
Just follow our Facebook.
I think that's also a really nice principle as well. You never tell people when you've got a dream or something that you're going to do something big. You just start doing it. You don't tell people what you're going to do. And I think that's respect. I like the way that you don't share, but for me, I think that you're a guy that's going to get a lot of shit done without telling people in advance what you're going to do. And I think that's always impressive. And some people it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
And for those who will see this later, because I'm recording and we will post it and we will post. I have posted your Vips number, so I ask people to support you. Just help in what they can in Vips and follow against bullying, like Mot Mobbing on Facebook or on the website.
Yeah, I highly appreciate that. For now, I haven't got one no. I'm a yes guy, and the way I pronounce it and the way I explain what we do is probably a good reason why I also work as a salesman. I haven't had a no yet. The last super good thing, which I can tell because it's already on our page, his name is Øyvind Ekeland. He's one of the biggest in Stavanger with bars and social clubs, which has nothing to do with children. But what he is, he's a parent. And as a parent, he can relate. So he said, we're going to do this. I have so big plans for this. Let's start. Just send me a bill for 10,000 kroners. Let's start there. We're going to do something more afterwards. But what if we have when this COVID thing is over, what if we have a concert in the city of Stavanger for the cause? That would be cool, huh? We're going to do something. We're going to do something. So this is just the start.
We're going to support as well, right, Katrina?
Yes, of course. And first of all, we will do a little webinar next week also, and we will give some great tips on how to prevent or deal with bullies. Concrete tips, I think.
So I think one thing that we got to do is, because we're talking like a lot of cool people on these webinars that have got like some really cool causes or movements or projects. We just got to get a site up for these webinars with a page with like a donate, or just like don't be the first person to say no. Yeah. Just like give. So I think we should get something like that up for supporting projects like this. Is pretty cool.
But not everybody has to donate money. We just, of course, just to have an organization like this, it ain't free. Believe me, it ain't free. It costs a lot of money, and I have a full-time job. Christopher and Olav, they have a full-time job, and we also have children. So time is more valuable than money. But say you want to support. Say you live in Oslo, and this could be something that you could help with. We need people all around Norway, and maybe also, okay, I'm talking big, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, Germany,
Ireland.
Ireland, of course, Ireland. And I'm just dreaming big. And for that, I'm like a child. I dream big. And the cool thing is I am adult and now have adult money. So I can do the dreams.
I think this is really cool. I think I love meeting people like you, Magnus, and I think that it's like whenever we turn off this webinar, that we like figure out some way to do something cool as well to get involved. Definitely do that.
Yeah.
All for that.
Yeah. So I think we will wrap it up now, and just because time flies as always when we have these webinars. So I will next week we will do it in Norwegian though. So if you want to join next week also, Magnus, it will be cool.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the 2 other founding fathers.
Yeah. That would be awesome. So and I hope a lot of people will support you, and we will find some cool things to do, and maybe we will see some car with against bullying in Oslo also. Maybe we can bring the cars into Rødtvet skole, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beside ours.
Yeah, beside ours. Yeah.
There's one of them. Yeah,
Brandon, you want to drive?
Yes. That one's nice.
That's cool.
Has it got the lights under it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
More show, the better.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, then. So support. I have put your already your Vipps number on this live streaming, and go into against bullying in Norwegian, mot mobbing on Facebook and the web, and also follow us on Hero Minds. That would be cool. And
don't leave, Magnus. Cathrine, you can stop recording if we're done.
Thank you